So one of the biggest debates that I have seen in the Forex trading world is which one is better, Forex or binary options. Now, though I don't really think this should be a discussion at all, in this video, we're gonna be going over the pros and the cons, some of the things that I like about both, some of the things that I don't like about both, and hopefully from that, you can make a decision of whether or not you want to trade MetaTrader 4 or binary options. Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Rico, aka RockStarr or RockStarrFX here, back with another video, and today we're going to be breaking down the difference between MetaTrader 4 and binary options, because I know there's a lot of people that you're probably brand new to trading. You probably heard of MetaTrader 4 because it is the more popular route that people take, especially here in the US, because there are a lot more brokers and it's a lot more regulated here in the US as far as MetaTrader 4 than binary options. And that's the very first thing I want to go over, is helping everyone here understand that yes, MetaTrader 4, just regular general Forex style trading, is very much legal in the US. Unfortunately, there are not any regulated brokers for binary options in the US except for one, Nadex. Now, Nadex, in my opinion, sucks. Most people don't like Nadex, which is why they don't go the binary options route in the US. Because Nadex is very highly controlled, man. It's like the US wants to control everything, and we're not even going to get into that discussion, but they control your entry price, they control the times that you're into the trade. Everything that people typically love about binary options, they pretty much just strip that away from you and said, this is where you're going to get in, this is the times that we're going to give you. If you don't like it, too bad. So that's one of the main reasons why binary options isn't very popular. But at the same time, just because there aren't any regulated brokers in the US when it comes to binary options does not mean that you cannot trade binary options in the US. I live in New York, and yes, I love and trade binary options. In fact, I know a lot of people here in the US that trade binary options. You just have to use an overseas broker. Which brings me to our first point. Where exactly are you located? So all around the world, there are plenty of brokers that you can choose from outside of the US when it comes to both MetaTrader 4 and binary option style of trading. Outside of the US, you guys are freaking, you can go ahead and you can crush it in any direction that you want to crush it in. And that really isn't an issue. But as I was saying before, here in the US, there really isn't a lot of regulated binary options brokers. It's only Nadex. It's literally the only one that's regulated here in the US. And the pros and the cons to that is very simple. Well, the pros is that obviously if you use Nadex, it's regulated by the US. You don't have to worry about the brokers being sketchy, running away with your money, or whatever the case may be. But the cons on the flip side, if you were to use a international broker or overseas broker and you're here in the US, well, it's not regulated here, so there are some things that come with that. It's a little bit tricky. For example, let's just say the broker up and disappeared. Well, then guess what? Your money is gone as well, and that's just me keeping it 1000% real with you. But at the same time, that shouldn't stop you from trading binary options, because, well, that's pretty much true with any, you know, bank or broker, whatever the case may be. If the economy goes into a recession, banks up and take all your money, well, guess what? It's just gone, and that's how it is. So location is actually an important obviously topic or discussion to talk about, because that's one of the biggest things, especially when brand new binary options traders that come into my inbox, they send me articles and Google and all this other stuff saying that, oh, binary options isn't legal, I'm afraid to do it, and so on and so forth. For the most part though, don't let the internet and whoever else scare you about the whole non-regulated thing. The truth of the matter is, most people that actually trade in general, we all use overseas brokers anyway, whether it be MetaTrader 4 or binary options. So if you're someone that's brand new, don't get scared away. Point taken. Number 2 is learning curve. Which one is easier to learn? Well, honestly, I wouldn't say one is easier than the other, but I would say when it comes to learning binary options, there is way less things that you need to know or understand to be profitable in the binary options market than if you were trading traditional Forex on MetaTrader 4. See, when you're trading on MetaTrader 4, you have to know things like, for example, pip value, margin, spread, swap, right? We just did a video on the 5 different order types. So you have to know the order types, you know, buy stop, sell limits, so on and so forth. There's so much that you have to know and learn to honestly just really understand the markets or even be able to place a trade in general. In fact, if you're watching some of my videos, most of y'all are watching my videos because you have no idea how to place a trade. You're like, you downloaded MetaTrader 4, you have no idea what you're doing, right? That's why I always recommend to people that if you're brand new to trading and you just want to get your feet wet, you want to see if this whole trading thing is going to work for you, get into binary options first. It's super easy, super simple, straight to the point. I know it may sound biased, but I'm just keeping it 1000% real with you guys. It is literally buy or sell. You're making a prediction of whether the market's gonna be up or down within a certain period of time. All you have to do is get good at a strategy. So if you can learn strategies, just like MetaTrader 4, they're both strategy based, but you don't have to know anything beyond strategy and binaries. It's literally just learn the strategy, confirm your trade, buy or sell. That's it. Right? So binary options is way easier in my opinion. I would definitely, if you haven't already done so, definitely check out some binary options. If you need help choosing brokers, I got a few down in the description below. So go ahead, check them out, open up a free demo account. See if you like it. If you don't, it's all good. But we're gonna jump into point number 3, which is the trading style. Now for trading style, I'm gonna be honest, this is really personal preference. I kind of like the trading style of MetaTrader 4 a little bit better, and I'll explain why. When it comes to trading binaries, most people get into binary options for fast profits, for quick gains. And don't get me wrong, the fast profits are lovely. Being able to make $100, $200, $300 in 10 minutes is amazing. But at the same time, when it comes to trading binaries, one of the biggest things we talk about, right, when it comes to trading is sitting in front of the computer and having to stare at the charts. So the two different trading styles I would say is, when you trade binaries, you have to be on the charts. Now, you don't necessarily have to be on the charts for a long period of time, but you have to be on the charts. What I love about MetaTrader 4 is literally it's a set it and forget it kind of thing. It depends on the style of trading that you have, but for the most part, it's set it and forget it, right? You get on MetaTrader 4, you find your setup, you'll set a pending order, and then you'll put your stop loss and your take profit. So literally, I can place my trades on MetaTrader 4, I can look at a setup, set the pending order, put my stop loss and take profit, put it back on my pocket, and I can come back and take a look at it maybe 3 hours later, 4 hours later, whatever the case may be. This is very much ideal in my opinion, especially if you guys work, if you work a job and maybe you just want to wake up in the morning, place some trades and let them ride out throughout the day. MetaTrader 4 is a little bit better. On top of that, when it comes to trading style, when we're talking about risk to reward, MetaTrader 4 is a lot better with the risk to reward because of the fact that you can actually set, okay, 1-to-1 risk to reward, a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So what does that mean? That means my take profit is a lot larger than my stop loss. So as you guys may know, MetaTrader 4 is based on pips. It's about the amount of pips that you can accumulate within a trade, whereas binary options is just about being correct within a time frame and you get a percentage of your initial risk. So the trading styles are different in that sense, in the sense that, well, if we're looking at risk to reward, MetaTrader 4 is way less risk. You can have a better risk to reward when you're setting up your trades. MetaTrader 4 is also better because you can set it and forget it and you don't have to be sitting in front of the charts. But when it comes to binary options, if you are the type of person that likes to make fast money, like me, right? Then you're gonna have to make the sacrifice and sit in front of your charts for maybe about an hour, 2 hours a day and look for these setups to be able to get in and get out with the markets. Now, another thing is the mindset. Most people fail at binary options because you have the ability to make a lot of money in such a short period of time. So being that we're typically placing 5-minute trades, 10-minute trades, and in those 5 to 10 minutes we can make as much as we do in a day at work, most people come into binary options with a get rich quick mindset. You have horrible account management, you're just worried about flipping account. You want to put $100 in and in your first night make $1,000. What I've learned with being a binary options trader is that you do have to be patient. Even though these are very quick trades, you have to be patient and wait for those right entries because binary options is all about timing and placement in the market. If you can get in at the right place for the right period of time, you clear every single trade. So let's go back and talk about the 3 points that we just went over. Number 1 is location. Now when it comes to location, I'm gonna say it's kind of neutral. You can make your own opinion on that. Number 2 is the learning curve. Binary options is way easier to learn in my opinion. Number 3 is the trading style. When it comes to trading style, it really is personal preference, whether you want to be able to set it and forget it with a better risk to reward, or if you're okay with making percentages for a shorter period of trade. Me personally, I don't mind making 80% of my risk or 70% of my risk or 90% of my risk, all right, to clear that trade in 10 minutes, opposed to MetaTrader 4 waiting like 2, 3, 4 hours, if not 2, 3, 4 days, if not 2, 3, 4 weeks. Now the very last point, and this is probably the most important, the very last point is broker talk. Now when it comes to trading MetaTrader 4, as you all know, it's way more regulated around the world than binary options. One of the biggest issues that binary options traders have is the fact that brokers, they don't really play too nice. And to be honest, you're gonna have to get to understand these brokers a little bit more if you actually want to be a binary options trader. A lot of people come into the binary options market, they don't read the terms of like withdrawing and depositing and so on and so forth, and then they get thrown off guard when they try to withdraw money from their broker account. It's very well known in the binary options world that brokers don't really like for you to make a lot of money. In fact, they want you to lose money, because when you lose it, you put more into their brokerage. But there are ways around all of the nonsense and the shenanigans that brokers tend to pull on traders, especially new traders, and that is just being familiar with the broker that you're signing up to. For example, there are many brokers that offer bonuses when you make your first deposit, or any deposit for that matter. Most people take these bonuses because they see it as a way to be able to make more money because they have more money. But in all reality, when you read the terms, when you're taking these bonuses, you're actually signing to say, okay, I'm going to accept this bonus with the understanding that I cannot make a draw until I complete such and such. So there's usually little terms like that that you have to look at. For example, with Vive Forex, if you take a bonus, right? A lot of people ask me about Vive Forex. If you take a bonus, even if it's a 20% bonus, you cannot make your first withdrawal until you have 3x your account in turnover. Not in profit, not in balance, in turnover. Which is not hard to do, but most people don't know that. So they flip a quick account, they try to withdraw, and the brokers don't let you. With MetaTrader 4, there's not very much brokers that do that. They don't really hold your money too much, and the reason being is because of this. It's very simple. The binary options market only generates a couple $1 billion a day in the markets, right? Fluctuating in and out of the markets, whereas the Forex market does a couple $1 trillion a day. The market is so much bigger on the traditional Forex side. So when you're talking about MetaTrader 4 brokers, listen, you can withdraw no problem. You could be brand new, flip an account, withdraw 100 grand, and they wouldn't even blink an eye for the most part. That's just how it is. But a lot of the times, and this is me being honest, a lot of the times with binary options, it is a smaller market, and these brokers are very much monitoring what it is that you're doing with your account. So they would do everything in their power to get you to not withdraw, because most people come into the binary options market with the mindset of flipping and withdrawing. They know this and they don't want you to do it. Now, it's not to say that they're going to keep your money or that you can never get your money back, but sometimes they will try to convince you, depending on the broker, they will try to convince you not to make the withdrawal. So, you know, they'll call you, they'll email you, they'll offer you extra bonuses, little things like that, to try to get you to stay. I've never actually seen a legitimate case of brokers just holding people's money for no reason whatsoever, unless it was just a complete scam, and that's a whole different discussion. But if we're talking about legitimate brokers, just because, and I'm talking to my US people here, just because it's not regulated in the US doesn't mean it's not a safe broker, because once again, the US doesn't own the world, right? Just because it's not regulated here doesn't mean there's not another country that it's regulated in and it's doing amazing in. At the end of the day, these brokers are a business. They don't want their business to collapse. They don't want to lose it. So you have to understand that. So when we're talking about broker talk, yes, it is a little bit more, I would say, safer. And not just safer, but it's easier to get your money on MetaTrader 4 than it is binary options. But once again, that doesn't mean it's impossible. I know people that literally withdraw $50,000 plus a week, $200,000 plus a month, and they have no issues whatsoever. So all in all, those are my 4 main points, my main key factors between the two. Which is better, Forex or binary options? Well, I don't know. That is completely up to you, and it's complete personal preference. You guys already know which one I have grown to love. I think that's pretty obvious by now, but I want you to make the decision for yourself. And hey, if you decide which one you want to do, drop a comment down below. Let me know, which one do you feel safer with? Which one do you want to trade? And which one do you think is easier for you to learn? As always, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. But this is your boy Rico, aka Rockstar. I'm out. Peace.
Feel just like a rock star.